if you could direct your attention up here, I'm going to tell you about the next unit we're going to start. It's called Installation Collaboration, using positive mold processes. So, the first thing that we did was, anybody? What type of sculpture was it? Your first project. Where you took things out. What do we call that? Subtractive, yeah. It's a subtractive sculpture. Now you're doing the relief sculpture, where you're taking something flat and you're building up, but it still has one flat side. Now you're going to do a positive mold. Okay? That's going to be your next process, and I'll explain that as we go. So, before we move on to that, one of the artists that we want to have Sculpture 1 look at as part of your curriculum is Alexander Calder. Okay? And he's most famous for pioneering kinetic art. Kinetic art is things that move. And is anybody familiar with Marcel Duchamp? You ever heard of the Nude Descending Staircase? I think we have it here. First one, do you see that? Yeah. Okay. He's also famous for sculpture, but he saw his work and described it as a mobile. You guys know what a mobile is? Yes. Exactly right. Okay. You ever seen like a baby's crib? You know, the thing that's above that hangs things? That's a mobile. We also have this type of work, stabiles, and that word refers to his stationary sculpture. So let's look at it. So here's a mobile. Here's some different types. This is me. I'm at the Hishore Museum in DC, and as you can see above my head is one of his mobiles. Okay. Here you have his larger sculptures. These are freestanding, and this would be similar to the first project that you did. You created a freestanding subtractive sculpture. So about his life, he was born in Monton, PA, which is not that far from here. It's about Harrisburg. So he's a local artist. Okay. He created art throughout his childhood. He made small sculptures out of painted sheet metal and wire. So as a kid, he was always trying to make things, make his own toys. His father was a sculptor. And you can see he moved into many cities that are considered art cities. New York City, San Francisco, Paris, Montreal. And he went to college at Stevens Tech School in New Jersey for engineering. So some of you I know are just taking this as like a general requirement course. Maybe you'll go to school for something else. But his engineering background helped him be a better artist through his sculpture. I just think that's interesting. All right, so let's talk about installation art. Anybody know what installation is? I hear people saying it. What is it? Okay, it's art that is three-dimensional, often site-specific, and designed to transform the perception of a space. So an artist creates this artwork made for a certain place for a certain reason. So let's look at concepts. A conceptual artist, I talked about Duchamp earlier, I mentioned his name. He creates ready-made objects that present in a new way. Can anyone tell me what this is? Go ahead, you're laughing. What is it? It's a urinal. Girls, if you don't know that. This is for men go number 1 when they're in the bathroom, right? It's a urinal, it is. What he did was he took the urinal, he flipped it on its side, hung it in a museum, and called it fountain. Okay? No, it's okay to laugh. So he's taking the concept of something that we already know it to be one thing and turning it into a different idea. So here we have, what is this? A shovel, right? But he calls it Prelude to Broken Arm. And he says that just because something's hanging in a gallery doesn't make it art. So he's making you think about what's going on or different concepts with everyday items. Okay, this is more going to what your project might be about. So this artist, this is an installation artist. This is Andy Goldsworthy. He's still alive today. He was only born in 1956. Okay, he's taking nature and he's showing us nature in a different way. So here he's taking repetitive shapes, pieces of trees that he found in this specific area and building structures for people to see. Same thing here. He's creating designs using natural items. Here he's taking things around, different rocks that he found in this area and stacked them to create a sculpture. Here he also does ice sculptures. There's like endless amounts of things that he does, but he's taking something that was traditionally in an art museum, and instead he's saying, no, I'm not going to put things in a museum. I'm going to bring people to the outside, and outside is going to be the museum. Okay. All right, here we have Ai Weiwei, and he is an artist that is political against his Chinese heritage. Okay, in China, they use a lot of bicycles to get places, just like New York City. You know, people walk places, they take the bike, subway, same thing in China. And he's saying, wait a minute. He puts them all together. As you can see, this one's called Forever Bicycles, this installation. Here's a person standing there, so you get an idea of scale. This is a person, this is how high this piece is, right? It's as big as the room. And what he's saying is, can these bicycles move right now? No, they're welded together, right? They're one big structure. So he's trying to say something about the society in China. Is it forward moving? No. It's stable, it's staying in the same place. It's not moving. Okay? So that's a statement that he's making using some everyday item that we know. Okay? Here's installation photography artist, Sandy Skukul, and she's using repetition of objects and contrast of color in her photos that are open to interpretation from the viewer. So what is this in the picture? What are these green things? Cats. What do we think of when we think of a cat? Anybody just shout out stuff? So cat, soft, comfortable, maybe some people don't like them. Maybe you think of like rulers of the underworld, I don't know. But traditionally, this is a pet, right? Like people have one in their home. It's supposed to be a cuddly thing. It being represented in neon green, does that make you want to cuddle it? Like, yes. It does? Some stuff of you?
I feel like this is Japanese Southern color.
Okay.
All cats should be
Okay. If I told you the title of this piece is called Radioactive Cats, does that change your idea of what it might mean?
Spider-Man.
Slightly, right? So she's taking an everyday object and giving it a new meaning. Okay? Same thing here with the fish. Obviously, fish need water to survive, so maybe that's why the background is blue. However, they don't swim above bedrooms, right? Okay? She's taking some objects and trying to give it a different meaning. Okay? So, what are you guys going to do? Here, this comes to your project. So you're going to stop and think about what life is like as a Conestoga Valley High School student. You're going to come up with objects that might represent your everyday life. Okay? How can you represent teenage or school culture within an object? So you're going to have to think about concepts mixed with objects. How can you display the objects to create a thought-provoking installation? Okay? So now we come to the part of the assignment, and I'm going to go into it more detail later. But you're going to get into a group, and I'm actually going to assign your groups. So some of you are going to be moving around. Okay? Yeah, I knew there would be pushback. That's okay. It's something new. Because in the real world, when you're an artist, you collaborate with other artists that might have different opinions than you. Okay? What you're going to do is you're going to create an installation to go inside the cabinet out front. You're going to pick an object to use, and you're going to repeat that object several times. So each person in your group is going to make the same type of object that whatever you guys decide represents these questions. You're going to create it, and then we're going to vote on which one we like the best, and we're actually going to put it out in the cabinet on display. Question? You will be in this group for the project.
Okay.
It's the project that you'll complete after this one.
Alright, wait, so we're not supposed to finish, well,
You are going to finish it. So the way Mr. Myers does things is that he has two activities running at once. I don't know if you realized we had the subtractive that was running at the same time as the relief. Now we have the relief running at the same time as your installation. Okay? So you'll get time to go back between the two, because when you're doing that, you're going to put plaster in. It's going to need time to dry. So while it's drying, you can come work with your group. Make sense?
Alright, so should I finish the lighting before I start on the new thing?
No, not yet. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to count you off and split you up. Yes. Any other questions? The spotlight? Yeah, you can turn off. Just walk over here behind Juan. There's a button. You just press that button and it'll turn the spotlight off. Okay, so I'm going to give you a number. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if you're a 1, come on this table. If you're a 2, here. If you're a 3, here. 4, here. 5, here. 6, here. 1, 2, 3, go clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Moves here. Who's going to follow me?
I was looking at
Should be a 2. So you're right here. That's okay. Taking a little break from that and trying something else. 1. You were the first one. 1. You stay right there. He moves over here.
no, like the one after.
Yes. Okay. Wait till I explain. Okay. Everyone's in their new group? Okay. See the people that you're with? Ask them, what is life like for them? Ask them what kind of object might represent everyday life. Try to come up with your idea for one object that you're each going to make. Okay? Go. In your group, yes.
So, what's life like for you guys? Good.
Basically, okay, when an artist does an installation, they have to think about the people that are going to view it. So it has to be school appropriate because it's going to be in our school. Okay? So I'm going to give you a piece of paper to jot down some ideas. Figure out, put someone in charge, have them make a list. Yeah.
So, what kind of objects? Phone.
Your object is going to be about, yeah, nothing huge because that would take, well, you could do something big, but that's going to take a lot longer. You're each going to make your own, so it's going to be about this size. I don't want to limit you in case you do have an idea that goes a little bigger or a little smaller. So it would depend by what you guys come up with. But you need to be talking to your group. Maybe you want to introduce your name so your group knows who each other is. Okay?
Could it be like something that's could it be like you go to school.
What you got? Just get to rinse off.